court to block the subpoena, and then, later the agency did withdraw it. But Nathan Wessler with the ACLU told us that this is still a threat to free speech, even though the agency withdrew that subpoena.
There's a long tradition going back to the founding of this country where courts have recognized that sometimes the only way to be able to speak safely without fear of retaliation is to do so without your name attacked.
On that note, what legal implications do all of these surveillance tools raise?
Yeah, so legal experts we spoke to brought up concerns in a variety of ways, most notably in threats to the First Amendment. That comes up in the case of those subpoenas and the online criticism. Generally, the right to anonymity is protected. And there are lawsuits in states like Minnesota and Maine alleging that when ICE officers lead people to their homes, things like that, that amounts to intimidation and violates a protester's freedom of expression.
Of course it does.
Some lawyers we spoke to also
Trump's ICE terrorists killed Renee Good as a terrorist attack on the First Amendment, and they're harassing her wife for that reason.
Access information they would otherwise need a warrant for.
They killed Alex Reddy as a terrorist attack on the Second Amendment.
The agency didn't answer all of our questions.
And they kidnapped
these tools or how
Nancy Guthrie as a terrorist attack on the First Amendment.
Methods or tactics. But in a statement to NPR, they refuted claims that these tools are unlawful.
They keep doing terrorist attacks on our.
He said its use is, quote, governed by established legal authorities and formal privacy oversight. And regarding allegations that the agency is violating the First Amendment, DHS said freedom of speech does not include, quote, rioting. Though, to be clear, the
How is rioting
posting
online?
Peaceful protests and observation.
That was NPR's Jude Joffe Block and Megan Anderson. Thanks to you both.
Thanks. Thank you.
Well,
The
thank
U.S.
you.
and Israel's war with Iran has expanded to the Indian Ocean. That's where
Get
an
a
American
room.
submarine sank an Iranian warship in international waters today, close to Sri Lanka.
No, one of
NPR's
Putin's puppets
Dia
keeps
Hadid
attacking
reports
another one of
live.
Putin's puppets. Maybe it's not a good idea to be a Putin puppet.
Initially, there was disbelief. This is Indian broadcaster NDTV.
Now there are reports
We got a
coming in
Putin puppet there
of a
too.
submarine attack
When's Modi's
on
turn
an
coming?
Iranian ship somewhere off the coast of Sri Lanka.
The Sri Lankan foreign minister said they received a distress call, so they dispatched ships and aircraft on a rescue mission. They recovered more than 80 bodies and rescued more than 30 people. More
At least they
remain
rescued 'em.
missing. Within hours, the defense secretary
Before the
Pete
Americans
Hegseth
can murder 'em
announced an
again.
American
Or the Trump
submarine
Houdiniers, I
sunk
should
the
say, they're not
Iron
Americans.
Stena, one
You're
of the
following
American
Trump's orders, you're a
warships.
Trump Houdinier.
Sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death. The first sinking of an enemy ship by a torpedo since World War II.
The attack set off ripples of anxiety across South Asia. The attack occurred close to Sri Lanka. That island is close to India's southeastern tip. And the question is, was Sri Lanka or India given a heads up?
Hell no.
Is that there is no such evidence so far.
Unless Putin gave it to him.
Or the Sri Lankans.
Sushant Singh lectures
But
in
Putin don't give a
Foundation
fuck
Studies
about his
at Brown
allies.
University. He's
It's like
also a
Putin got
former
1.5
Indian
million
officer.
Russians killed in
He
Ukraine
says
so
it's a
far.
concern because India has cordial
Putin
relations
murdered
with the Trump
1.5
administration.
million
And
Russians
it
in
has
Ukraine.
pointedly
They
not
don't give a fuck
condemned
about
the
Modi
assassination
or
of Iran's
Trump
head of
or
state on
Netanyahu.
Saturday, even though the country had working
And
relations
proved it
with
by having
Tehran.
him kill the Ayatollah.
Making it worse, the Iranian vessel had departed from a ceremonial
But hey,
fleet
you're gonna
review
team up with
Iranian
Putin.
port in late
That's your
February.
final fate. That's what you
The
get for
review was
teaming up with
overseen by the
Putin.
Indian president and the
I
defense
feel
minister
sorry for all their
Rajnath Singh,
followers, but
who had posted videos on X set to dramatic music celebrating the event as navies coming together for peace. India has so far not commented on the sinking of the Iranian vessel. Sri Lanka's government
scared,
has called
huh?
for peace and says it doesn't want to become a victim of this conflict. Singh says the
Well,
incident
you
will
should have
also
stopped
set
the
off alarm
tyrants.
for China, which analysts say is seeking to project its dominance over the Indian Ocean.
It's US Navy is doing this year. It really sent.
so we shouldn't call it America or American activity when
on Friday. But in the meantime, private data from ADP and the Bank of America has shown some early signs of improvement in the labor market. Signals